Okay, now we want to talk about some other things that humans have done to the planet. So the first one is going to be modification of landscapes. And so this is a picture of what used to be a field or a forest that has been paved over. And so this the asphalt is going to act like rock, and so it's not going to allow the water to flow through it. So that means when it rains, that water is going to flow on top of the concrete instead of going through it, and that water's got to go somewhere, so that can cause flooding. The one that's underneath it shows modification of ecosystems. So this is what happens when you used to have a jungle area, and then farmers come in and they carve out places to plant their crops. So you see all of those white, yellow type circles there, and then those are places where they're farming their crops. And one of the things, though, is that wreaks havoc with the ecosystems, because there are certain kinds of plants and animals that require large tracts of forest in order to be able to exist in. And so when you start carving it up this way, those kinds of plants and animals cannot exist. Okay, then let's talk about loss of biodiversity. So in the gray part of that chart there, that shows the number of extinctions that occurred in the geological past, millions of years ago. And so from the looking at the fossil record, scientists have come up with a number of that on average one species would go extinct out of 1,000 species every 1,000 years. So that was the rate of extinction. And so remember, though, that there are hundreds of thousands of different species of plants and animals. So that would be, so you would take one species per 1,000 species, but remember there's hundreds of thousands of species, and then per 1,000 years. Now let's take a look at what's currently happening. So that's in the green part of that chart, and it shows that roughly 1,000 times more species are dying today than they have in the geological past. Now, in the geological past, there have been times when a lot of species have been killed off. So like, for example, during the Permian, there was a extinction where 95% of all life on Earth died. But that was like a one-time event. Whereas right now, roughly 1 out of 1,000 species out of all of the species are dying every year. Okay, so the rate at which things are dying has increased greatly. Okay, and then in the orange part, they speculate that if the trend continues, 10 times more species are going to be dying as a result of this. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about different kinds of pollution.